So today we're going to be going on how do you grind the icon pack. We've got Busquets, we've got icons, we've got heroes. There is a lot to kind of go through. We have got an 87 max on this base icon, which still gives you a fair whack of players. Hopefully we manage to get something. But this is the very first icon pack that we've managed to get in the game. We have had a couple of heroes, so we can kind of keep going with that. So if you're looking for coins, head over to eldorado.gg. There is huge amounts of verified sellers on Eldorado, and there is a money back guaranteed by Trade Shield. If that's not enough, there is 24/7 live support and also plenty of reviews across websites that will definitely put your mind at ease. And as always, before you check out, make sure that you are using the code JT11 for 5% off every single order. Back to the video. Now obviously there is Busquets also, 88 rated, looks phenomenal. He does, I believe, have the icon chemistry, so if that is confirmed or not, well, I'm sure we'll find out. Player's role, no, that's standard, but in general looks pretty solid as an 88. Great defending, great passing. Obviously the 3-star didn't go up, which is a shame that we didn't get at least a 4-week FUB, but regardless, this is going to be a great Evo card in the future. You can play centre back, centre mid, and CDM as well, so that in general is always nice. So we've got a lot of things that we have to grind out. The biggest thing is we've got multiple 87s, multiple 86s to be able to grind them out as well. Now this is going to require quite a bit of fodder really. And then the same, we've got the icon pack back, the hero pack back, again 85, 86, so we are looking very heavy on these requirements. Now, one of the best ways to have a look if you've got to purchase anybody is by going over to FUTBIM. You'll be able to see that you go by, in the SBCs, go cheapest by player rating, and you'll be able to see a lot of the cheapest players that you can get. So realistically, we're looking around this sort of line. So if you've got some players that you need to, rather than necessarily putting in somebody that you don't really want to put into an SBC, have a look here first and see if the coins do match up with obviously a lot of these upgrades. If, for instance, we look at a Busquets, or even if we think of the icon pack requires an 87, 86 and an 85 with a team of the week. So if I was looking at the 87s, I'm thinking I've used all my 87s and 86 within it, and I've still got, like, I need a couple more upgrades. Maybe look and see if the 3k difference is worth doing it. Then also see, if you can see down here, whether the 9k difference between the 88 is worth putting an 89 in instead of two 86s or two 87s. Sometimes can work out, but regardless, the way I personally would grind this, and it's gonna take time. Obviously you've got 6 days to grind out the max icon. You've got how long you got this? 3 days for the hero, and then Busquets, I can imagine, should be here 21 days, so a solid amount for him. Whether you want to get him done first, personally for me, I'm always about the gambles. Like, the icon is always worth it, or maybe not. We'll find out now. We might as well do it now, and then we can go over some of the methods. Let me know down below what you get in your packs. We do obviously have a few packs that we can go through as well, but max 87 base icon. That was anticlimactic. Try that again. Max 87 base icon is no longer available. I mean, did they just get rid of it? Oh, they're not even going to. I've been robbed. I've been absolutely robbed. Like, don't get me wrong. I've been robbed for getting Veron. I've been robbed of seeing what the icon looks like. That is outrageous. I don't know if that's happened to everybody. That's actually annoying more than anything. But anyway, let me know what you get. Let's have a look and see what we get from the rest. So these are the packs that you do get back from obviously doing the icon pack. These are going to be great to get you some coins as well. The whole point of doing SBCs is to get rid of all of these because of the tradable nature. You can put a lot of these in, and to be honest, I just list like a lot just for a little bit of coins, not necessarily anything crazy. When it comes to the gold rares, you're probably not going to get them gone but too much, but the gold commons sometimes can just be listed up for 400, unless you know anything different. They might be well worth just having a look and seeing if you can find anything from them. So obviously, like an 81 could be decent in some SBCs, so you might even be able to get a 650 rather than either just putting them into your club and then using them in an untradeable fashion. have a try, see what you get. We obviously then do get jumbo golds that can be fantastic as well, so that's always going to be good. That'd have been great if it was Wilson. But like, you look at that Darmian, he's going to go for at least, what, 500? We will get a lot of them just going for 400. Sometimes you have to list them again and again, but realistically, they're just extra fodder that can go into it. Managers, to be fair, it's 400 there. Shadow, obviously, they're going to be 5k, which is always perfect. Sometimes you can get a little bit extra lucky there, but naturally we didn't get anything else. We do get a K coins. Most of the time the rares don't really go because the price limit's just, it's too, there's 700, there's so many people, but you could probably make a solid 20-30k back. And that really helps with the kind of going round of what this costs. So if you have spent a little bit of money on it, at least you can claw some of it back. We didn't get any walkouts in this. Sometimes the silvers can do all right as well, especially with the Silver League at the moment. Could potentially have some little bangers in there that might work. Obviously, English cards will be going through the roof just because of everything. Naturally, we'll just go with a 400. We'll try them. A couple of the bronzes might, but I'd imagine they're probably still on the floor. Bronzes I'm kind of keeping at the moment just to see if they do go anywhere. We'll keep her because she might be worth something. But everything else is really worth to sell. Silvers potentially are worth it as well. So the way I personally would grind a lot of this out is by doing your daily stuff. And that sounds as simple as it is. That is just the best way to grind stuff out, is doing your preview packs, doing any packs that you can manage to get from objectives. In terms of not spending money on the game, it is difficult at the minute. We haven't got no League SBC. That hopefully is imminent because that will help a lot of the cause. But you do look at all of the objectives that we've got. They give us a chance to get stuff. Obviously, the weekly, if you've done all of them, perfect. You obviously get all of them players, which are going to be fantastic. But you look at the Silver Tour that I still need to do. You obviously have got a solid amount for doing it, and you also get a 100k pack. So make sure you are finishing that. I'm going to be finishing that today. Then obviously, you've got more packs coming in here. They may not be crazy. They may not give you stuff, but there is a chance that you can get something from them. Even like the weekly rushes. Again, may not be crazy, but at least it's something that can start without spending money. And that's going to be the big thing. Even then, you look at kind of your normal milestones. If you've managed to get the 50 wins or 50 matches in Rivals, premium gold players, it's just easy to get stuff going. Now, naturally, if you want to play the games, you will naturally have quite a few of kind of the objectives. You have your silver live event. You then also have a gauntlet that's coming. We've obviously got rivals, we've got rush, we've got champions coming again. So utilizing all of them to your best ability is going to be fantastic to keep replenishing the club. Because naturally at the minute, the only way that we could get fodder other than buying packs is the 2x80 78. It's going to be the only way that you can do it. Now, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of it because the 6 rares, it's a lot of rares for very little back. It seems like 278 just doesn't seem crazy worth it. I would definitely be looking at my untradables if I can and sticking away from League SBC cards or even just the main League SBCs because they're going to be the ones that most definitely everybody will want to do. So utilizing the rares and obviously utilizing that common instead, that is going to be the best thing that you can do to start with. So obviously kind of sticking away from all these League SBCs, you've got loads of golds that you can grind in, and that's going to be a great way to start with. Then obviously from there, it depends on what you get. It's going to be difficult to get all of them upgrades without necessarily getting anything that is too crazy because it's a difficult, well, I mean, I just get a walkout instead. That's pretty cool. Left wing, Spanish, is it Pinner? I think it's probably Pinner. It is. Nice. I mean, that's a brilliant card. If you got that tradable, even better, but at least it's fodder to go in there. Now, obviously not every single one's going to be crazy like that, but you could potentially get something. That's at least an 86 that can go into my storage and can start upgrading from there. Again, like you see, I've got a full kind of storage unit there that I can possibly put into there. Obviously what you want to do with this, because realistically you've probably put a lot of rares into there, I would just be going gold common, back out there, low and common, then obviously putting one player in. I would then back out, squad build, because obviously this is going to be pretty much just all gold rares. We go storage, ignore position, low to high, and I'd go to probably like 82s, maybe 83s if I've got them, but that's going to be what I'd kind of do with my storage to make sure it's at least kept in line, that I've got just some decent fodder in there. And what you can do is, if you don't want to do it instantly, you could potentially just go ahead and put some stuff in the storage and then use that as an SBC fodder later on down the line. So you're not always guaranteed a walkout in these. I think, is that 85? 82 Mallard, so they just go back into it. So that's probably the only good thing with the SBC. If you don't get two that are decent at the minimum, you just run it back through. And really, that's the only thing we've got at the moment. There's no real get rich quick scheme. You can do some trading and get coins and obviously utilize them instead, which is a great way, but that's not an instant. It's not an instant fix right now in terms of kind of grinding these 72s, 78, sorry. That's really the only way we've got to go at the moment until League SBCs come in. When they eventually do, that's going to be the kind of next best way then, because you could funnel any of the upgrades into the League SBCs and you just keep going that way around, and then eventually you'll get the team. It still will be slow. It won't be a quick way by any means, but at least it gives you a little bit of hope with it. We get Pope in this 281s, they just go back into it. So at least we're only giving up 4 rares, 1 common, and then obviously the 2 players that we've got. So they do go around pretty quickly. In terms of if you run out of golds, the personal preference of mine is going to be in the provisions. We have got a 50k for the 45 rares, and we have 25 for the commons. It's kind of entirely up to you. I don't think it's bad value. I think roughly if you work out 45 rares over the 50k, it might be just a slight bit more than 45. What would it be? 45 times 700. I think you should be able to get that. That is going to be coming in at 31,500. So you could technically buy them off the market cheaper. Whether you can find and do them all quite quickly for 700, say you just add it up by an extra 1 or even 2, so we go 750, we'll go to 33, and then if we really stretch the boat out and said 800, you'd be looking at 36. The big thing is with that is you can get market ban from buying too many players at once, so it's kind of that toss up between doing it quite quickly or potentially getting market banned, which means it slows down the process even more. But realistically, they're going to be the best ways until we get League SBC. The way that I'd be kind of going at the moment is trying to fill out whatever I can. If I'm wanting to do all of them, I want to do the Busquets and I want to do the hero pack and the icon pack, I would personally just start with whatever's kind of sooner and just work forwards that way. Because naturally, if we do the hero first, there's obviously a chance that we can get something. If it's something duplicate, if I get another Kanu, he just goes back into the icon. It's kind of as simple as that, really. But realistically, I would be looking to start with the higher SBC first. The way I kind of start the SBCs is most definitely looking at what I've got in my max storage first. So for instance, with this, it's predominantly just 84s and 186. So I know I've got to put in a fair whack out of my actual collection. So I'd go into the gold rares, I'd look, make sure you check who you've got tradable and untradable, because I kind of want to just use untradable as much as possible, because then the coins can come in later on down the line. Then obviously it's down to your club and seeing what you personally want to get rid of. If you want to do it untradable by nature first or that way, again, it all depends on what you're looking to get rid of. And as you can see, I don't really have too many players that I would kind of put into this, so maybe I put in a few 85s and then obviously I go try and buy some players instead. It's all about kind of managing your club and not going too crazy, because we still have the gauntlet and everything like that. That is going to be well worth trying to keep at least a semi-good second and third sign-in. And what I'll do here, say for instance we've got the 84, I'll then go into the club and see what's the next best rating. So for instance, if I go into that and I'll go gold rare, I can see then from here what is the rating that I need to purchase to be able to get the rating up there. And sometimes it won't be split. So say for instance the 89 doesn't do it, what I'll possibly go and do is, I know that Bastoni was one of the cheapest 87s wherever he is. Bastoni, and then I'd just go back one and we'll see 87 doesn't get me there again. So do I go an 88 on this one? We know they're only a little bit more expensive. We go the 88 and it still doesn't get me there. Wow. Say we then go as the cheapest 88, we're looking at Katoto and Peugeot and also Paredes. So if we go one more, I'll just look up a little bit. So we've got Paredes already in there, so I will go Endler's relatively cheap, and then we work backwards again. So realistically by now, I'd imagine that should get us into the 86, but what I want to do is just make sure that we don't have to overdo it, and we can go into an 86 and that works, and then we obviously again go down one more and see if the 85. So we know we need the 86. So we'll go with you. Shirley's quite a cheap one apparently, wherever she's gone. And Tonali as well. Did I just see Tonali? I don't know where I saw them, but there's Shirley. So we'll go with her in there instead. Obviously then I just go buy these 3 players, and that's the first one done. And there we go. They've purchased. First one done. Nice and easy now. Again, if Laura's ever told me anything, I've done 2 or 3 of these now. They've not been great. So hopefully we do manage to get somebody different. But again, we follow the same principle. We do the storage first just to see if we can get anything out of here. Obviously then we go into our club and we know that it's already pretty bleak. So we got to really kind of pick and choose what we actually want to use. As I know Peugeot is a little bit cheaper now, I'd probably just put her in as well. Again, Kanate 7k. Probably get him gone, and then we look at the likes of Dybala, just being really nitpicky with what I can obviously kind of get rid of. Mateo's probably one now that's worth going. Conte would be another, and that would kind of fill the club ready. So that would be where I personally would go. Obviously, you just redo your gauntlet teams. I haven't done them in a while, so I'd have to redo them anyway. And that's another one finished. So now I'm really just focusing on Busquets. And it depends on the level of club, depends on how many coins you want to spend. I know that I'll be doing rival rewards. I know I'll probably end up buying some packs during the Ultimate Scream, so that's going to be pretty worth it. Another good thing is to definitely wait out, because we have got Pogba coming. I can't see him being that cheap if he's coming in at a decent rating. So that's going to be something to always be wary of, that sometimes the straight away is not necessarily always worth it, but potentially the kind of hold on and wait might actually be a good way to go as well, especially with a brand new promo coming out. They do tend to like to give us something to kind of put some fodder into, knowing a good promo, or at least a heavy SBC promo is coming, so that you spend all your money and then you've got to buy more. It's just the way of the world with it. But then obviously, max 87 hero pick. We do get the walkout with this one. Nice. It's going to be centre mid. Is that going to be... Is it... It's not Williamson. Is it Williams? It's not a bad centre mid, actually. Is it Williams? I can't remember the name. Williams. It is Williams, 86. I mean, I'll absolutely take it. It's better than the others we've managed to get. So she probably is a little bit cheaper now. 40k, I mean, it's a little bit cheaper, but at least it's not the same as we've always got. So grinding it out is going to be a bit of a harder fashion, but you definitely can get there with obviously utilizing good methods and definitely trading some of your coins up. You'll be able to see that stuff will sell, and if you can kind of keep going with a little bit more rather than discard, it will make the world of difference over a grand amount of cards. If you're looking between like 1 and 10, you probably won't notice like a K difference, but if you do that over 100 and you do it over 1,000, it really does rack up the points very, very quickly. So let me know down below who you get. Make sure you do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for that next one. Peace.